Hey, welcome, kings and queens. Y'all, we back in full effect here in the palace, honey. And we are talking Love and Marriage, Huntsville, Season 8, Episode 1. Listen, we are hot from the behind the gates of the palace. We had our premiere kickoff a couple of days ago, and boy, did we have a time. Did we have a damn time behind those walls? But we going to talk about it, y'all. And Funky Dineva, girl, starter? Baby, let's be clear. Cream always rises to the top. Ain't no such thing as starter content when it comes to these YouTube streets, baby. You get it how you get it. And many are called, but only a few are chosen, baby. And that's why you came back. That's why you came back, because Love and Marriage Huntsville, Melody Shari is always, is always a winning prize. Even for those that love to hate her, honey. Let's not be dishonest and misleading. You came back because there's a bag when we covered Love and Marriage Huntsville, okay? So y'all don't get in your feelings behind the insult, the shade of it all. I left it to the starter girls. Girl, that's why you back, because anything that you start that's beneath you, you shouldn't return to it. But the word says a dog always returns to his vomit. Y'all, let's talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
Oh yeah, you heard me right. As a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. Y'all are batshit crazy if you think Funky Dineva means Melody Shari any good. He has a long-standing history of doing nasty work when it comes to the star of the show. All things Love and Marriage Huntsville. And let's not get it twisted, baby. Go back and fact check me. He has said on record and stated publicly that he and Carlos King are really good friends. So Carlos got his friends out. These bloggers out doing his nasty work. Honey, listen, play nice. Play nice over here. Because all them bitches and hoes that you've called this lady over the years because you decided to wake up and choose violence, Mr. I left because of the fans. Sir, you were a fan. You were one of the most negative fans of the show. Attacking this woman, calling her everything except the child of God, talking about her mama, all that stuff. So let's not get it twisted. What happened, if we're going to tell the story, let's tell the story right. The fans became outraged because of the narcissistic, misogynistic abuse that Carlos King promoted. And Black women said, hold up, nigga. You getting beside yourself. Hold up, nigga. Now, I know you see what's happening on this show. Hold up. If you're not going to say something, we will, because there was not a problem when she was getting her ass handed to her. Nobody said anything. And I wonder if that's a symptom of rubberneck, like rubberneck symptoms, where we just kind of drive by and watch shit happen to other people. And as long as it ain't happening to me, I don't care. But then it started to hit close to home, and Carlos King and his production team started to trigger people all over America, and people started talking. That's why you left. It wasn't the fans. It was the abuse. Let's call a spade a spade. But anywho, child, let's jump into the season 8, episode 1. They open up the scene with Courtney. Well, no, they didn't. They opened up the scene with Martell sitting there acting like he was in deep thought about his negligent, rowdy, narcissistic behavior. Yo, sometimes I sit here, I'm like, again and again and again and again and again. We've been seeing this shit play out for years. We ain't new to this. We true to this. We are not new to this. We are true to this. We've seen this happen again and again and again. And the only people that give Martell Holt the benefit of the doubt are women who have an appetite for long suffering, or women who have not been brought up to speed about all of the behind the scenes happenings when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville and all things Martell Holt. Oh, he's a charmer. He's a charmer, honey, and he will charm you right out of your pants. So they open up the scene with him sitting in the confessional as if he's a victim. Okay. And then they roll on and they go into different snippets of castmates giving their feedback regarding what's going on. And particularly Stormy and Courtney are having a conversation. And Courtney, he kind of leans along the lines of saying Melody knows what she's doing. Well, Courtney, let me tell you something. You might want to sit this one out, bro. Because in 2024, women are not taking chances no more with domestic violence. Okay? Women are not taking a chance anymore. We understand the statistics. We understand that the odds are against us when it comes to Black men and their violence against Black women. Okay? So I'm glad she did something about it because women in 2024 are not taking a chance. They not letting these niggas get past communication harassment. Ask a lot of families of women that are no longer here to speak for themselves to say it started with the text messages. It started with the threats, but we never thought it would happen to us. We never thought that he would do that to her. They have children. The same bullshit y'all sitting there saying the reason why she should not fight back. They have children and he's a Black man. Yeah, the same one that is capable of anything. Let's talk about it. You will not weaponize a man being a man against a woman who needs to take every fucking step necessary to protect herself. Niggas are not getting a pass no more. You send me a fucking threatening text message, I believe you. You send me a sub, I believe you. And I'm glad that she has the maturity level, the emotional intelligence to say, wait a minute, let me go document this shit. Just like y'all do at your jobs in corporate America. You want to get it on paper just in case so you don't get fired. You get what I'm saying? So, Courtney, I need you to sit this one out. I need you to sit this one out. Because if you're not going to lead with emotional intelligence, then don't speak on it. Because that's a very, very sensitive topic to a lot of people in this community. It ain't nothing to play with. This ain't bro, dap it up time because you're a man and he's a man. That's what I want to say. Okay. I felt like Melody prepped for Martell's explosive actions, and she was right. She prepped. So they showed a scene with her standing outside in her home with her security detail, and they're talking about expanded security, not new, expanded. Let's chew on that. Security has always been there, but let's just take extra precaution based on his emotional reaction. Melody's not responsible for his emotions. We are all responsible for our own behaviors. We are all responsible for how we show up in this world. She does not have to coddle him, nor does she have to be strategic about what moves she's going to make based on his mental state. Okay? She's not God. Let's not make her one. So I feel like she was prepping for his explosive actions, and she was right because that lady knows him better than any of us. She knew he would retaliate, and as a matter of fact, he has not stopped retaliating since the day she left. Let's pause there. I said the people that seem to lean on the side of Martell are either women who heavily identify with men or women that have not been brought up to speed about the historical behaviors of Martell Holt. This man has retaliated since the day she walked out the door. We can start when he withheld all of the furniture and his children had to sleep on the floor. And Melody was homeless for a while and she went from house to house. I like to call it the friends and family plan, baby, when you ain't got your own. So you stand with friends and family. Okay, we'll pause there. This man has continued to retaliate over what, 8 seasons, 8 years? How long they been on? 7 years, y'all? It's been a long time and I'm fucking tired. And y'all should be tired too. This man, this demon has not gotten tired. And her spidey sense was on. And I guess, you just kind of know if you trust your intuition. Wait a minute. So I've been married to him for 12 years. I know he doesn't like being told no. Hold on. Just in case. Let me amp shit up a little bit around here. And I feel like Carlos King played a huge role in introducing the Revenge P tape to the world when he accused that lady and he told her that she should have been able to remember having a penis in her mouth. Maybe fact check me. When he sat there on that stage and aligned himself with Martell Holt after Martell, I believe, and I did a video on it. And you know what? I'm going to start repurposing my shit because I've been ahead of my time for a long time. I've been ahead of my time for a long time. Y'all are going to learn to listen to me and follow me very closely. I always give you tips and I always give you a little bit of hints here and there in my commentary. Carlos King has aided and abetted narcissistic behavior. Carlos King has aided and profited off of narcissistic behavior on the back and at the sacrifice and the well-being of Melody Shari. Fact check me. Carlos King introduced us to that Revenge P. He and Martell were aligned on that stage when Carlos looked her in the eye and matter-of-factly looked at her and said, you would think if you had a penis in your mouth, you would remember that. And you said, and that was some nasty ass work. Imagine your boss saying that in front of your coworkers about a tape that's allegedly floating around about you on your job. And instead of your boss being a 15-year professional that he claims that he is, instead of him rising above and bringing order amongst the employees, he jumps in and tells you should remember having a dick in your mouth. Listen, y'all better go back and bring yourself up to speed about what's going on with this show. Okay, that's nasty work, Carlos. That's nasty work. Now, here we are. Bring it up to speed again. Here we are today. You recruit Funky Dineva, your good girlfriend, to come and do what I call an old side swipe in the art of war. You know, there's head-on collisions, and then there are side swipes. Side swipes are, well, it's not that bad. Let me assess the damage because at least nobody got seriously hurt. Are y'all following me? Do y'all not see what's going on? Carlos is now openly working with the bloggers by becoming a blogger himself, and they are doing this nasty work right here, right now, in front of all of your eyes. And you tune in and you believe every fucking thing that comes out of their mouth, y'all. It's called a side swipe. It's like a cat. Cats, felines, they play with their food before they kill it. It doesn't matter the side of the cat. It can be a lion, a tiger. Their nature is to show you a little bit of affection, a little bit of play before I take you down. So that nice, nasty work that y'all are shouting from the mountaintops. Oh, he said something nice about Melody. Listen, it's called a side swipe. It's called positive before negative in psychology. So that should tell you to stand 10 toes down and to be on high alert that something is cooking. Like The Rock says, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? So that should tell you, wait, what have you done? Like mothers do with their kids when they're in the other rooms and they start playing and it gets too fucking quiet. Y'all playing too nice now. Let me get up. What you say, ladies? Let me get up and see what the hell is going on because you're too quiet. See, I know my grandmother used to always say, when they talking, you know what they thinking. But when they switch up and become nice and or quiet, those are the ones you have to worry about. Because now you don't know what the hell is going on, but I can see it coming a mile away. Something is brewing, and Carlos King has recruited Funky Dineva to get ahead of it. Okay. And here we are. Be not deceived. Evil company corrupts good morals. Ain't nothing changed about how Funky Dineva feels about Melody, y'all. This is called the art of war. He's just changing up the strategies. Don't ever underestimate your opponent. They're just as strategic, just as sharp, just as methodical as you are. When we talk about the Garden of Eve, the woman was won over by the words of the snake. Y'all, let me get out of here. Y'all not ready for this commentary, which is why I hold back a lot and I stay behind my damn wall. The woman was won over by the words of the serpent. He hissed. So y'all hear people say shit after they've condemned and crucified this lady, and he comes up and gives a shady ass compliment, and y'all are saying, yes, finally he apologized. Are you kidding me? Is that all it takes? See, once a man, I don't care about his sexual orientation, once a man disrespects a woman who is not a threat to him, doesn't pose a threat, but because he fucking can, and he knows he's a man, and I am going to attack her femininity, and I am going to call her the worst name in the book. I'm going to call you a bitch because I can. Especially when it comes from a gay man, because you can't really say shit to me, because then I'll accuse you of being a gay hater. I'll accuse you of attacking my sexuality. So not only am I going to disrespect you by calling you a bitch, I dare you to say something back. It ain't really too many places she can go. Right? Because that's the lowest thing he can call her. Now, if she get low with his low ass, it's perceived as hate. Let me pause there. Anytime a nigga calls you out your name, dust your fucking feet off. Excuse me, I forgot to say, this is adult commentary. You dust your feet off and you leave him be. You leave him be. So, Carlos has pulled out all of his big guns, but we got it, y'all. Stay grounded. Stay sharp, okay? Now, I'm going to say this. Y'all prepare for war. Because you know Funky Dineva, I said it, he don't like Melody. Y'all know this. They are attempting to save the show. I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but this is a power move and a power play. They are doing two things. They're trying to take out two birds with one stone. Number one, attempting to save the show because Carlos needs Melody. And if he could free himself and gain his independence outside of Melody being the star on the show, he keeps a paycheck and food on his table. Because the rest of them shows ain't doing shit, okay? But at the same time, while attempting to save the show, he's also attacking Melody, okay, while he's at it. Now, Carlos has gotten a little bit more savvy because I think he learned real quick at that podcast. He felt that energy from the millimeters. You know what? Let's take off the label millimeters. He felt that energy from Black women in that room that says, you're not going to play in our faces. Okay? So Carlos is moving a little bit differently, and he's sending his troops to hold the front line. Now, let's go back to Martell. Martell is the same guy, y'all, that's working with Mark Scott. Yeah, you heard me. Y'all gonna learn to start to listen to me when I tell you stuff, but I'm gonna explain that later. I'm gonna break down the connection for you a little bit later. I'm gonna break down what's really happening. Martell is a nasty demon. He's the same guy who's orchestrating attacks on his younger daughter. Pick your mouth up. I've told you. I'm gonna break it down, but I'm gonna have to do that one separately. Martell Holt is willing to sacrifice his youngest daughter to win against all odds when it comes to Melody Shari. Martell Holt is also the same guy that's working with bloggers. Yeah, Carlos and Martell are working overtime, baby. They fighting for blood against one woman that ain't did shit to either one of them. Okay. Martell Holt is the same guy that doxed Melody. Let's get into this scene just a tiny bit with Martell and his mom. So first off, Martell walks out of that room looking at that piece of paper, which I am sure that he has seen 1,000 times over. Y'all, he been knew about that warrant. That man been knew about that warrant. That man has connections that run deep in law enforcement and in that local jail, but he needed a storyline. He needed a storyline. Remember last season, he just insulted Carlos. So when you insult the Lord thy God, you must come bearing a sacrifice. So his sacrifice was to sacrifice Melody and her children on the show because guess what? My Lord, I now have something to make up for my insult. Y'all don't remember when he threw Carlos under the bus and Carlos didn't do shit about it? And he dared Carlos to fire him. But then he comes back to the Lord thy God, his God, Carlos King. He bows down and he gives him a storyline. So here we are. Both Carlos King and Martell Holt have refused to allow Melody to evolve post-divorce. They are working hard to keep this lady tied to this man, which is why Martell Holt brought this story to your television screen. Because Melody, guess what? If you're a producer and Martell gets arrested, I need you to speak on that. And guess what I do again? I keep you in bondage to your ex-husband. I keep you in bondage to me as an executive producer. I keep you in bondage to your audience because I will not let you go free. As long as you stay here, you will be a slave to me. You will remain a slave to Martell's storyline. Y'all, she don't need a storyline. This nigga need a storyline. That lady has plenty of excellent things going on in her life that they could be filming. But that nigga cannot stand on his own 2 feet. Martell Holt is boring. He's like watching paint dry. He needs a chaperone, like a Jehovah Witness on a date. He needs a chaperone everywhere he goes because he is that grown boy. He is a little boy in a man's body. But both Carlos and Martell are committed to keeping Melody in bondage because they both need her. What is it called? They need a host. She's become a host. And they are parasites, parasitic. And Melody, they're gonna keep using you until they use you up. Even if it feels like you are somewhat in control over your storyline. You're somewhat in control over the narrative. One day you're going to look up and you're going to be exhausted. Exhausted. Because they can do this all day. They can go on and on and on and on and on. Because I believe that Carlos King and Martell Holt share some of the same traumas when it comes to their mothers. And I'm going to talk about that in a whole different commentary, okay? Martell continues to exploit his children and his ex-wife for profit. And Carlos King is right there. Because that check is good, good, good. And now he's scrambling to protect his income. That's the first thing. Human instinct, all of us are selfish by nature. So the first thing we do instinctively by nature is to protect ourselves. What you all are witnessing right now that's happening is Carlos King is setting up the play and the cards. It's like Big Brother. Y'all, this is a power play to shift the numbers. If you watch Big Brother, you know that the house could flip at any time, which is why they say expect the unexpected. And I need y'all to get out of your fucking feelings and start playing chess. Talk less. Be innovative thinkers. Sit back and watch the play. Let it run out to see what happens. And you're going to say, Queen Sheba, you tried to tell us. I've been trying to tell y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all there's something coming. And they're trying to get ahead of it so that they can say, see, no, we complimented Melody. No, we said Melody was this and that, but now we're going to get on her ass. Y'all, it's all a part of the game. It's all part of the strategic art of war. Okay. Now, Marlene says that Melody needs to be a woman. Marlene, she was a woman and she did handle her shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she did a great job as a woman. She did more than what you could do for your children. Because according to Martell, you didn't protect him when he needed you the most. You told him to shut up, suck it up, quit being a damn crybaby. Get your ass over there and sit down. So now you mad that she's outmaneuvered your woman, your womanhood, that she'll do anything to protect her children. So now she needs to be a woman, but I need you to keep that same energy for that mistress. Oh, yeah. Because the mistress is the real whistleblower. Child, she's the one who told the world what was supposed to really go down and how Martell had planned to retaliate against Melody. Let me tell y'all something. Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance when it comes to any sign of domestic whatever. A domestic sneeze, cough. Nigga, you roll your eyes domestically, you got to go. You see what I'm saying? Because if you stop it here, it won't get to there. Now, that scene on that couch between Marlene and Martell is very telling because the production staged that arrest, y'all. Just like they staged that setup conversation and that second reunion on that stage to try to ambush Melody. Y'all don't remember when they introduced the revenge P. Carlos. I think Carlos, what is it called? I don't think Carlos has a lot of feelings towards women. And I'm going to dig a little bit deeper to figure out why there appears to be a dark hole when it comes to women and their pain. Because you promoted that story also about Maurice. Oh, and what he did to his wife while she had cancer. And that was nasty work, Carlos. You shouldn't have even entertained that shit based on the similarities of what your own family went through. Ain't nothing funny about that. So I really want to dig a little bit deeper about the dark hole that you have towards women. And I'm not calling him a bad person, but I'm sure there's some bad things that may have happened to cause him to shut down when it comes to women, to feel not one thing for them, to the point you couldn't even say stop for 4 or 5 years as that man was abusing that lady on camera. Ladies, check your appetite and make sure you have not developed a palate for long suffering. Okay? Have you ever walked into somebody's home and it had an odor? And you can smell it as clear as day, but they can't because they become immune to it. See, sometimes you become so immune to things that you think it's normal because you've learned to endure. You've built up a tolerance and a resistance to it, but baby, it still has the same effect. It doesn't matter if you can endure it. The outcome is the same. And I want to make sure that we all check ourselves because some of us have built up a palate and appetite for long suffering where you stay too long when you're not being treated well, okay? Establish zero tolerance. Now, Martell and his mother set that scene up because you heard her say, Not only did they set that scene up for that house, I think the house was part 2 of the first part. The first part when she said he called her and she was there in 2 minutes. I know you were, because you knew exactly what was gonna go down. Now, he said that he was going to pick up some forms and paperwork that he needs. Y'all, any forms or paperwork that you need, they email them to you. Digital copies. You purchase them. Martell went because he knew there was a warrant for him. Follow me very closely, but he needed to get everything right for the television show. But he also needed to get it right by way of public opinion. This is an all-out dog fight for the top spot. Okay? There's a lot of people coming after the crown. And at first it was just between the ladies, but now the men have joined in. Martell also wants the throne. And Carlos is helping him because Carlos has to help Martell because it's going to rebrand or clean up everything that Carlos has allowed Martell to do over the course of the past 5-6 years without interfering. So it serves him. It benefits Carlos to help Martell and to help Martell clean up his reputation by making him a victim this season. But as you can see, hell, even Martell ain't comfortable. You see him smirking and laughing because he know it's bullshit. But let me move on. Let me move on, child. Old Carlos King continues to be the ringleader, the puppet master. Okay? Now, that's why I say y'all see Funky Dineva coming out to play. Do you see how Martell and Marlene don't hesitate to use those kids to play on y'all's emotions? Do y'all not capture that? Go back and listen to it. Do not be fooled because the whole time, child, if what I saw was correct on that counter, which I thought were toys, those kids were upstairs. Now, here's my thing. If the kids don't deserve this, why the hell are you downstairs talking about their mother when they can hear you? Hmm? Martell and Marlene don't give a damn about them kids. Not to be confused with not loving them. Because, see, you can still love somebody and not really have a strong emotional attachment. Marlene and Martell don't give a damn about those kids because, number one, if you did, you wouldn't be having Mama Marlene. See, you're a mother, okay? Because you know they're going to grow up and see this, okay? So why would you promote it, the negativity on the show about their mother if the kids are the primary focus? And another reason why I say Miss Marlene don't give a damn about those kids is because she couldn't give a damn about her own. She was too busy running the streets and putting niggas first, male identified. And as a result, what we're seeing is the same repeated pattern of that behavior on that sofa, male identified. Why don't she just be a woman and handle her business and sending my baby to jail over a text message? You know damn well it ain't just over a text message. And as a matter of fact, Martell, I have a question for you. Have you ever put your hands on Melody? But have you ever put your hands on her? Because your mistress said you have. Just because it's not on record don't mean that you haven't done it. Have you ever committed domestic assault against Melody, since y'all want to talk about it? I would love to ask him that and watch his facial reaction. Yeah. Okay. I just want to know. I'm curious. So stop playing with us. Stop playing with us talking about the kids don't deserve it. Okay? Because otherwise you wouldn't dog their mama out while they can hear you. While they can hear you possibly. Because I thought I saw toys on that island in the kitchen. This is sad. This is really sad because I want to give a little bit of context. Because everybody keeps saying it's just a text message. No, it's not. It was a fucking threat. And he also, let me give you a little bit more context because some of y'all have forgotten. Y'all don't remember he also threatened her on Instagram. See, some of y'all were not around when all of this happened. And this is how it happened, y'all. Martell Holt violated his oldest daughter on the internet, on Instagram. And her mother, Melody Cherie, stepped in to protect her. Yes, I said what I said. He violated his oldest daughter by secretly recording her, and then he played it on Instagram for the world to hear. And that's when the judge shut his ass down. He secretly recorded his daughter and exploited her to the world, just like he secretly recorded her mother. Sick bastard. Let me tell y'all something. Robert Greene, the author of The Art of War, The Art of Seduction, The Art of Human Behavior, says a person never does anything just once. Ever does anything just once. You better believe this is something that he's been doing. Let me say it again. He secretly recorded his oldest daughter, exploited her by playing it on the internet, just like he secretly recorded his ex-wife and threatened to exploit her on the internet. And that's how the threat of the revenge P came to be, because Melody jumped in and the fucking gloves came off and she started swinging on him on social media, not physically, to protect her children. And that's when he sent the threat. If you say one more word, he wanted her to sit back, buckle her seatbelt, and let him have his way. Nigga, you were not getting bullied. You are the bully. Surprise.